Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, September the 19th, 2013. A rocket was fired from Gaza early this morning at southern Israel. The police initially thought the rocket, which landed at around 2 a.m. Israel time, had fallen in Gazan territory, close to the security fence bordering Gaza and Israel, and not in Israeli territory. But after further investigation in the daylight later this morning, police found the projectile in an open agricultural area within the Ashkelon Regional Council. An Army spokeswoman said there were no injuries or damage reported in the incident. The early morning rocket fire came after more than a month of relative quiet in the area. The last rocket that fell in the region was in Sderot, which also did not cause any damage or injury. Newly elected Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said his country is not seeking war. Rouhani made the comments in an interview with NBC News, the second part of which was aired today. When asked about Israel by NBC's Ann Curry, Rouhani said,
"What we wish for in this region is rule by the will of the people. We believe in the ballot box. We do not seek war with any country. We seek peace and friendship among the nations of the region."
However, the Iranian president also called Israel an occupier, which has brought instability to the region with its, quote, warmongering policies. Rouhani also declined to comment when asked whether he agreed with his predecessor's view that the Holocaust was a myth. Rouhani said, "I'm not a historian, I'm a politician." In an earlier part of the interview that aired yesterday, Rouhani said Iran would never develop nuclear weapons and that he had, quote, complete authority to negotiate a nuclear deal with the United States and other Western powers. Rouhani is expected to address the United Nations General Assembly next week. Meanwhile, White House spokesman Jay Carney said yesterday that there were no current plans for U.S. President Barack Obama to meet Rouhani while he was at the UN. Reuters reports that President Obama has told Iran's president in an exchange of letters that there is a window of diplomacy open, but that it won't stay open indefinitely. Jay Carney said yesterday in his letter, the president indicated that the U.S. is ready to resolve the nuclear issue in a way that allows Iran to demonstrate that its nuclear program is for exclusively peaceful purposes. He said the letter also conveyed a sense of urgency in the matter. The UN General Assembly began their 68th session this week. General debate is scheduled for September the 24th through October the 1st, when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to make his address. And the head of the Israel Atomic Energy Commission accused Iran yesterday of, quote, deception and concealment, saying that the Islamic Republic was just looking to buy time for its nuclear program. Shaul Chorev, speaking at the annual meeting of the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna, said the picture that the Iranian representatives are portraying regarding openness and transparency of their nuclear program stands in sharp contradiction with Iran's actual actions and the facts on the ground. The American Jewish Committee is set to meet with leaders of countries from every continent who will be attending the UN General Assembly opening. AJC Executive Director David Harris said the UN opening in September is a unique opportunity to have timely conversations with presidents, prime ministers, and foreign ministers about pressing issues of mutual concern. The AJC's agenda for meetings this year are the continuing threat of Iran achieving nuclear weapons capability, the recently resumed Israeli-Palestinian peace negotiations, the Syrian conflict, and other key developments in the Arab world, as well as rising anti-Semitism. The European Jewish Congress is urging the European Union to withdraw its new guidelines limiting the funding of EU-sponsored projects in the West Bank. In an advertisement published by the Financial Times, EJC President Moshe Kantor said the EU was trying to preempt the results of peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestinian Authority, and said the guidelines were harmful to the process. Kantor also responded to a letter that was sent yesterday by former European leaders to European Union Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton, calling on the EU not to delay or soften the guidelines. Cantor said that the letter is a, quote, danger to peace as it hands one side a political victory without having to compromise and deepens the Palestinian feeling that they can gain more outside of negotiations than in them. The EU issued the guidelines in July, which bar funding for Israeli organizations that operate over the pre-1967 borders. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has also expressed concern about the guidelines, asking the EU to hold off on implementation while talks between Israel and the Palestinians are underway. As we reported to you, the EU also sent a delegation to Israel to meet with Israeli officials on the guidelines and their implementation. Well, a Belgian Jewish monthly paper reported that an educational ministry website in the country compared Israel and Nazi Germany, using a caricature by a Brazilian artist who has been accused in the past of being anti-Semitic. Yudes Actueel reported Monday that the comparisons were made on the Klassement BE website, a major teaching resource offered by the Education Ministry of the Flemish region, one of 3 entities that make up the federal Belgian state. The website featured a caricature of a Jewish man impaled on the fence of a concentration camp next to a man wearing an Arab headdress or kafia, their arms and legs arranged in the form of a swastika. The caption "Never Again" appears above the image of the Jewish man, and the words "Over Again" are under the Arab man. The caricature was drawn by the Brazilian artist Carlos Latouf, whom the Simon Wiesenthal Center has accused in the past of anti-Semitism. And the Anti-Defamation League is calling for the immediate removal of offensive and outrageous promotional messages on a Saudi-owned satellite television network that shows Adolf Hitler singing the praises of the network's programming for the current month. ADL National Director Abe Foxman said this offensive and outrageous campaign trivializes the Holocaust by turning Hitler into a cartoonish poster child. He said perhaps someone thought all of this was funny, but one wonders how it will play across the Arab world, where there is scant education about the murder of 6 million Jews and millions of others by Hitler and the Nazis, and where Holocaust denial and anti-Semitism are rampant. The ADL is urging the network to immediately remove the campaign from circulation. Tel Aviv University has established the first research center for Israel studies in Jiaotong University in Shanghai. The center, which will be located at the university's School of International and Public Affairs, was inaugurated earlier this week in a ceremony in Shanghai. In attendance were both university presidents as well as ambassadors of Israel to China, Matan Vilnai, and Consul General of Israel in Shanghai, Shalom Cohen. Jiaotong University President Zhang Zi said in a statement that the center aims to achieve 3 main goals: research on contemporary Israel and Sino-Israel relations, promotions of academic and student exchanges, as well as technological cooperation. Zi also stressed the importance of the, quote, long historical relations between Shanghai and the Jewish people. He said the only place on earth that sheltered Jewish people during World War II was Shanghai, adding, "We are happy to continue this relationship today." Tel Aviv University President Professor Yosef Klafter pointed out that the project will open a window to the state of Israel, its history, law, economy, and culture for Chinese and international students. And Israeli Ambassador Vilnai said during the inauguration that Israeli and Chinese people, though presumed very different, are actually very alike. He said they are both new nations with people who have a rich ancient history and have both become powerful and influential countries.
Happened to Dudu Fisher.
And finally, on L'Chaim tonight, you can catch one of Israel's greatest performers, Dudu Fisher, who describes his father's survival during the Holocaust, his concerns for the state of Israel today, and his personal journey from prospective dental student to world-renowned cantor and star of Les Miserables. That's tonight at 9 here on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, September the 19th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.